Welcome back on this Saturday morning on Fox and Friends. Former Mayor of New York City, Rudy Giuliani, joins us now. Nice to see you this morning, Mr. Mayor. You're coming under fire for some comments that you made the other day, of course, in the wake of these shootings, and this is something that you're used to dealing with. But here's the quote that you put out the other day on MSNBC, and we'll read it and then get you to respond to this. So let's teach everyone, including the children of the black community, that most of those police officers are the reason you're alive, because the real danger to you is that black kid who's going to shoot you on the street, because that happens many, many more times than police officers. Of course, your response this morning is that, well, the response is that you're a racist now.
Well, if stating the truth is being a racist, then we're in a very sad situation in this country. What I just said, what you just quoted, has statistically been the case for all my years in law enforcement. When I was mayor of New York, I took over 1,924 murders the year before I was mayor. I brought it down to about 500. Mike Bloomberg brought it down to about 300. I calculate that I saved about 7,000 or 8,000 black lives. Bloomberg and I together, maybe 12,000. There are no two mayors that ever saved more black lives in any city, any place in the country. Black Lives Matter hasn't saved anywhere near as many black lives, if they've saved any at all, than I have. And where are they? Where's Black Lives Matter when 6 kids get shot in Chicago by other black kids? The reality is that we're going to only end this whole issue when we get control of the significant amount of violence in urban America. I'm not talking about the rest of the country. I'm talking about urban America within the black community. And it's the police who are the ones who are doing that. Last year, a year and a half ago, officers Lou and Ramos were assassinated in a similar fashion to these police officers. They were protecting a black housing development. They were protecting black children. That's what our white, black, and Hispanic police officers do. And I would like the people of America to know that the New York City Police Department is a non-white majority police department by design.
Right.
I helped to do my part in creating that. In fact, it turned to a non-white police department when I was mayor. It started with Mayor Koch, Mayor Dinkins, me, and Mayor Bloomberg. So when I put police officers, or when Mayor de Blasio now puts police officers on the street, like officers Lou and Ramos, one is Asian, one's Hispanic. We've done everything we can, courtesy, professionalism, respect. We try to train our police to treat the minority community in exactly the same way they treat the white community. The overwhelming majority of them do that. In fact, the overwhelming majority are the reason why so many black young children are alive in New York today that would have been dead. Black Lives Matter divides us. You know what they tweet. They don't only tweet about bad cops and cops are pigs like the Black Panthers used to do. They tweet kill cops. Kill cops.
And they also exclude non-black participants from their meetings, which is the definition of racism, and yet the president has endorsed them, Hillary Clinton has endorsed them, the attorney general in the wake of the Dallas shooting, one of the first things she said, we endorse your aims.
They are instigators of violence.
Well, then how can all these elected leaders endorse them?
If you go online, they advocate and instigate murder.
Rush Limbaugh called them a terrorist organization.
Well, look, I don't know the definition, the actual legal definition of terrorism, but they instigate and encourage the murdering of white police officers. Now, I know police officers really well. I run a security business. I employ police officers. Because I'm a big supporter of the police, 5 uncles who were cops, a cousin who died in the line of duty, cops come up to me all over America. For the last year and a half, I am told over and over again, I feel like I have a target on my back. And I feel like the politicians have put it there.
Well,
when that governor had to come to the conclusion as to the motivation of what looks like an unjustifiable shooting. I don't disagree with that. It looks that way. But I've learned over the years of being a U.S. attorney, mayor, you wait for the criminal justice system. To say it was racist instigates. But nothing like Black Lives Matter.
You know,
Black Lives Matter says, kill white cops.
I don't think politicians realize the impact they have when they make statements directly after an incident. Hillary Clinton's coming out saying that it's white people, they are just not listening to blacks enough. Here's what she said.
I will call for white people like myself to put ourselves in the shoes of those African American families who fear every time their children go somewhere, who have to have the talk about, how to really protect themselves when they're the ones who should be expecting protection from encounters with the police. I'm going to be talking to white people. I think we're the ones who have to start listening to the legitimate cries that are coming from our African American fellow citizens.
You're shaking your head.
You're sighing.
I'm shaking my head because she has no experience really running an African American city. I do. New York City has a large African American population. For the last 30 to 35, 40 years, 70% of the people murdered in New York City are black. That's true this year, true last year. 75% of the murderers are black. When I go into the black community and talk to them and listen to them, and I did when I was mayor, they would ask me for more police officers. So I will put myself in the shoes of an African American. If I was an African American father, and I would tell my son, yes, the cops, sometimes we have a few cops that target us and are horrible. Most of them, however, are very good people. The real risk to you, at a rate of about 99.5%, is another African American youth. Now, you want to do an actuarial table. The reality is that 90 to 95% of the blacks that are killed in America are killed by other blacks, less than 1% by police officers. So what's the real risk? If I care about my child, what do I tell my child?